which is at JagXReach, and you'll see who Big Dave is.
Okay, and our last question, the big one,
yes.
Dragon Claws. That's
Right,
it, that's the whole question.
We do this quite a lot, but I think
this is the final time.
I've been told that this is the final time I should say this. Because
so what's going to happen is we're going to address it now, once and forever, never again, maybe, probably, never, maybe, I don't know. And we'll put it on YouTube as a highlight. So if anybody asks this question, I'm going to redirect them to the video. See,
yes.
Hey guy, we just answered that yesterday.
Which a big flashy alert thing and somebody else in the future. Anyway, go on, Dan.
All right.
Right, Dragon Claws. Everyone, a lot of people love them, a lot of people hate them, a lot of people enjoyed using them, a lot of people enjoyed being killed by them, a lot of people enjoyed killing people with them.
That was close.
A lot of people were frustrated when they were getting one item rushed. They were a reward from a quest, a very popular quest, one of my favourite quests, and they were relatively cheap for their strength. They were also incredibly accurate for a level 60 weapon. There was no requirement beyond level 60 attack to equip them, so you didn't have to do the quest to use them. Anybody with 60 plus attack could just pick them up and go into the wilderness with one item and potentially kill you. They had 2 special attacks, so that's and they did half damage for every. They hit 4 times, going down by half, I believe, if I remember rightly. So if you hit a 40, you then hit a 20, then a 10, then a 5.
Yep.
Obviously, that's quite a lot of damage. That can kill you in one hit.
That was close to the max, I think.
It was, and you could nearly kill someone with one special attack.
Right.
People counter that argument quite easily by saying, well, Dragon Bow does that, AGS does that currently, and people can, as Wiggled has proved before, actually, in one of his videos where he he barraged skill specs, and then obviously AGS rushed him. That was a good example of those weapons being overpowered as well. The thing there is, those A are pre-existing, so they've always been there. We can't just adjust that balancing. B, range doesn't really have anything that's powerful on its side beyond Dark Bow. You can't really do that with anything else. Dragon Bolts, or Onyx Bolts, sorry, maybe, but that's not very common, and it's incredibly expensive. Magic doesn't really have anything effective on its side. Barrage is the best it gets for Magic, really. Some people might disagree with me, and I'm not a PKer, so I apologise if there's anything else that could be potentially better. Melee does have AGS, correct.
But it's worth a hell of a lot more.
AGS is a very expensive weapon. A lot of people have it, though, so it's not really too much of an argument against it. It's not very accurate, and it doesn't hit that high often. Just when it does hit high, it hits bloody high.
There's a massive delay between the 2 specials.
And
and the special attacks are much slower.
Right.
Introducing Dragon Claws as they were originally would put the melee side of the combat triangle much further ahead than both range and magic. You know, on another level, it would go much further ahead. Where we are at right now with the current armor sets we have, we don't really have anything to combat that sort of offensive attack. You take Dragon Claws into the you take Dragon Claws into the wilderness, for example, and the best armor opponent you can find, the best armor in the game currently, you could be wearing an Elysian, you're still going to do an incredible amount of damage. So we're not really at the balance yet where Dragon Claws are viable. I'm using the word yet because I'm not ruling out Dragon Claws as a possibility for the future. I'm saying right now RuneScape can't really support Dragon Claws.
Okay. Couple side questions, if I may, real quick.
Yep, sure.
So do you want to touch on the Phoenix necklace, which apparently renders the Dragon Claws redundant? Well, not redundant, but like...
Only when you're wearing one.
If you're wearing a Phoenix necklace, you can't be killed by Dragon Claws.
So but it would over-centralize the entire PvP
right.
meta system where you would actually have to wear a Phoenix necklace to effectively not get rushed.
But does this mean that Dragon Claws are not as OP?
Well, they are still OP.
Right.
Forcing someone to wear something to make something not OP doesn't make something less OP. That's why
it's not the right sort of design to make it work.
Right.
You know, we're not going to completely redesign the PvP system around Dragon Claws.
You could say that if you're protecting melee, AGS is underpowered. You never get killed by an AGS.
Right. Exactly. Or if you've got 99 defense and they're wearing max defense, then things are going to hit 0. That's not really how it works.
So that argument's kind of shot down. What other arguments are there for
well, there's more arguments against it. I mean, like you said, they've only required 60 attack, and having something that powerful at such a low level really limits their future potential. And it's kind of where things started going down the path of things getting really OP at really low levels, going into things like Chaotix, Karasi, etc. And that resulted in a complete rebalance of combat. I don't think we want to be heading down that path because a lot of people play old school to stick with the old combat system.
We also have to consider our future. I mean, it's the integrity and balance of the game is something we have to take into serious consideration. If we do Dragon Claws now, we limit ourselves to what we can do with weapons in the future. If you wanted the next best weapon, if you got bored of Dragon Claws, if everyone had Dragon Claws, you wanted the new weapon, what the hell do we do with it? We've just given you the best spec weapon in the game. It hits you nearly for one shot in every special attack. You know, what can we do beyond that, which is better but different?
Right.
That's tricky. So we're not saying Dragon Claws never. We're not saying that. We're saying right now Dragon Claws don't fit the balance of the game we have. With a new raid potentially next year, we're going to be looking at introducing potentially new armors. That might bring the balance into more form where we can suddenly say, hey, Dragon Claws is a possibility now. Hey, do you guys want them? Where would you like to get them? Would you like them to be nerfed, buffed, do whatever? I don't know. Right now, where we're trying to secure our future, we're thinking of our future, and the current balance of the game, they just don't fit. Don't be wrong, I do love Dragon Claws. I had Dragon Claws, I used Dragon Claws. I do understand the hype behind Dragon Claws. I was a huge fan of them, I still am. I even commissioned them to be made. Alfie did make them. We do have the animation. We can run around currently in our test streams with them. It's fun. I get that sort of appeal. We're just thinking, you know, we've sat down and talked about this as a team before quite a few times. We are really just thinking about our current position and we're thinking about the future.
Right.
As I say never. They could potentially come next year. Who knows? Right now, it doesn't fit our current balance.
Right now. But maybe in the future.
Maybe in the future, yeah. Long story short,
telling me there's a chance.
TLDR, right now, no. Future, potentially.
All right.
I'd be very surprised if they were to even pass anyway.
That's the thing. Obviously, there's a lot of people in the stream who are shouting yes, Dragon Claws, but there's equally a lot of people shouting no, Dragon Claws.
They're just
some
not
people
as
are saying
vocal.
biased. We have to be biased in some respects. We have to be biased thinking about our future. We could give you all the best weapons tomorrow, and then the game could die 2 weeks later. We don't want that. You don't want that. We have to think about the balance of our game.
Certain things like PvP armors, I'm 100% for, and I would push as much as I
Yeah,
could to see
I'm
them in the
perfectly
game.
happy to have PvP armors as well. But
I've been advocate of PvP armors for a very long time. We've
That
told
just
them to you
shows
twice.
Not
Yeah,
everything
fast.
we want
Pure
happens.
armors, I'd love pure armors.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's, you know, we have our own opinions of what we like in the game, but we can't just, you know, put what we want in the game and not what you want, and equally vice versa. So
I think if we could, there'd only be 4 skills left because we'd have all have taken 2 or 3 out.
exactly.
Well, that's why Old School's so great, is because these guys have a say rather than us, and you know we have our opinions. It doesn't matter if we're biased; it's completely pointless because you guys say yes or no, not us.
And for me, it would just be interface jobs all over the place.
And for those saying poll it, we're not even going to be polling it at this time for the reasons we've just covered.
Right.
If we poll it and it doesn't come out, and it comes out as a no, a lot of people then shout repoll. A lot of people then shout repoll on a lot of things that failed. That would just render our polling system completely redundant and completely useless. We don't want that.
Right.
If it passes right now, then like I say, we then start to enter a slight struggle. And as John pointed out, a lot of people will then start saying, well, now we've got Dragon Claws, you might as well give us Karasi. True, we might as well.
Yeah.
Do you want Karasi? Do you want Dragon Claws? Then do you want us to start developing a rebalancing combat for you? The answer to that is likely no. So, like I say, the balance
Right.
now, not suitable.
And that's eventually what pushed RS3 to the point where they had to add more hit points and all that, right?
Yeah,
That's not something we
absolutely.
want to see with 07.
And the abilities to ask for a straw poll, might as well straw poll it.
We can straw poll
No
it.
reason
You'd
why
like to
not.
get for straw poll.
All right, I'm going to say 65%.
I reckon it would be closer to 70, yes.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah,
We-
based on the viewers.
Straw polls aren't
Well-
obviously accurate. We don't use them as a means of saying, yes, we're definitely going to do this, or no,
Yeah.
we're not. But they are, you know, with the amount of viewers we have, and if it turns out to be something like 57% yes, we can roughly, or we can almost accurately assume that the majority of the game will also vote in the same way.
Okay.
So we'll see what it comes out as Ronan types it up.
So while we wait for the results on that, we've got a couple more questions here. This, I think we'll do one last one for our finale here. So this one is asking for a hard-hitting magic special attack weapon.
I would love one. I would love Magic to actually for once have a special attack.
Yeah, I sat down with one of you at some point. We think we designed bounty hunter rewards. It might have been Ronan, yeah, and we spent a good few hours just trying to think of something that would even become viable. And because of the many diversities of the magic skill, it's very difficult to come up with something. I mean, we toyed with everything from something that hits twice with a second hit that does half damage or something that slows you down like Miasmic used to. And we just couldn't settle on something that would both be useful but not ridiculously overpowered.
Right.
So if anyone's got any ideas, feel free to send them our way.
Okay.
Because I agree, Magic is lacking in its knockout blows, effectively.
Pretty sure the code supports it already with or with minor tweaking to make it supported better. So we could implement it if it were to pass.
I wanted Magic to have a special attack option on a particular skill or staff for a very long time now. I think it'd be very nice if we finally found that niche that worked for it.
That would be really cool to see, actually. Yeah, so if you have any ideas, where do they send them?
Twitter, forums.
Tweet any of us, put it on our forums, like you say, put it anywhere on social media where we can see it. And we do read social media all day, every day, so it's not... we just got the results from the poll back in, and No is ahead by how many votes?
1%.
1%.
Looks like people
51 to 49.
So this is, at the moment, we're seeing No
17,
and yes
18
neck
votes
and neck.
between it. Yeah.
With, like you say, there's 655, 56 votes for No, 645 votes for yes. That's 50-50. I mean, like I say, there's a lot of people saying, yes, we'd love Dragon Claws, shut up, stop saying no, just give them to us. Equally, there's a lot of people saying, don't you dare. So what do? Do we poll it to you and it vote no and then you never get them?
Yeah.
Do you want to take that risk, or do you want the game to be in a bit more of a stable balance where things like Dragon Claws might become necessary because AGS isn't good enough anymore?
I mean, that's what it boils down to. You know, if we poll it and it only gets 50%, it's unlikely we'll ever be able to poll it again because it's going to be nowhere near passing. So that's why we're not polling it now, because there is a chance it will be useful in the future.
There you go, guys. That was our ramble on Dragon.